All right. Good morning, everybody. It is March 6th, 2023. Welcome to the Lang Trading Chat Room. If you're new, it's going to go something like this. I'm going to start off and review the SPY and the Qs, determine our market bias, pick which way we think the market's going to go today. After that, I'm going to review the gap list right here. Long ideas are in green, red ideas are in short. These ideas are not meant to be blindly bought or sold. We are pattern traders, so we need a pattern to trade. This is a very challenging business, so make sure you're practicing proper money management. You're not going to get rich quick. You're not going to earn while you learn. You got to do it the right way and raise your risk incrementally. Start off with $5 to $10. Eventually work your way up to $500 to $1,000 per trade. And with that, let's get going with the market bias, guys. So I had two pretty big green days last week, Thursday and Friday. Just really rallied off that 200 period moving average and pushed all the way up over $400. Now we're getting into this next area of resistance right in this 406 to 405 area. You can see we kind of have a double bottom right here, and that's right where we are at. A little bit extended into this area as well. So we are gapping up about 0.24 on the SPY, a little bit more on the Qs. I'm not going into today with a rip-roaring bullish bias. I do think we could go higher. It wouldn't be a big surprise, but I think we kind of chop around a little bit here. I think we put in a little bit of a bullish, choppy day. As you can see on this hourly chart, I mean, we're up like 12 green bars in a row, so you got to expect some sort of pullback. Maybe we retest this 402 today, but kind of just expecting a little bit of a chop, a little bit of a correction after this big 2-day move up. Qs, you can see same sort of thing, right at this 21 period moving average, right at a little bit of a jump here to the left. You can see 302, 303 area. Got a little bit of support, so likely to become resistance right there. So just expecting a little bit of chop today, guys. We do have some pretty nice gaps, though. This XN is a solid one, gapping up into a major void, good volume in the pre-market. The CN, another one, gapping up over multiple pivots into a void, should have room up to about 56. The CRWD, the crowd, another one, gapping into a void. The gap fill, we got at like 138, so should have easy room up to there. Really, this thing could get 150. I mean, this thing doesn't really have any resistance until we get there, so I really like crowd. It's one of my top watches. On the short side, this ESPR is looking pretty good, clearing this whole area of support right here. Should have room down to about $5 right there. IAA, another good one, mega gap. It is right at this 200 period moving average, right at a little bit of support, so might be a little bit cautious here, but still a pretty nice gap, clearing multiple pivots. This BMRN, and we are about to open in about right now. All right, so market is open, guys. As always, if you guys have any comments, questions, concerns throughout the stream, make sure you're throwing it up in the chat log. I will get right on it. And yeah, so I'm going to keep going through this list. I'm not going to be jumping into any trades early right here. There's no reason to do that. I'm waiting for some 5-minute patterns to form, so I got a couple minutes here, guys. Continue with this list. The SoFi, it's gapping. It's like right at this resistance. Over 680, I like it. It should have easy room to $7. AMD, same thing, right at this close. Not gapping up a whole lot, but should have room to about 85, 86 bucks. Microsoft, another one. I always like to have a fat man stock on the list. Make sure you see some relative strength on these. We always like to get in them. So Microsoft's looking pretty decent over this little pivot there at 257-ish. And then the last idea on the list is IQ. And this thing's going to need to get over like $8. It's going to need to get over $8, but if it can do that, then I like it quite a bit. So getting a few things pulling in at the moment. So let me update this list real fast. All right. Get the thumbnail watch list filled out right here. All right, now we are good to go, ready to trade. Okay. So SPY's pulling in a little bit. Qs, same thing, putting in a topping tail. So a little bit of bearishness off the open. Kind of as expected, like I was saying, we're up quite a few bars in a row right here. So a little bit of a pullback is kind of expected. This XN is chopping around so far. Not much to do with it here. Pretty wild pre-market. I'm not a huge fan of that. I'm gonna watch the C. Oh, this thing's pulling in pretty good. Maybe watch this on a pullback, but that's a little bit of a big move down off the open. So, and then crowd, another one. This is probably my top watch right now. CRWD crowd, probably my top watch. All right, the ESPR. Watch this one for a pullback as well. Pulling back right into that support area. So watch it. Watch the ESPR. IAA's put in a pretty decent sized move already. Guys, I really don't like that 200 period moving average either. That's going to be tough to take that right there. The BMRN is moving up a little bit. SoFi is just chopping around. Keep your eye on that. SoFi. AMD's pulling in pretty good so far. Microsoft is pretty strong. Guys, I want to keep an eye on Microsoft. I'm gonna pull CN off the favorites list here. And this thing just put in a really big move, so not a huge fan of that. I'm gonna pull CN off. I'm gonna put Microsoft on. So Microsoft, one of the top watches right now, guys. This thing's kind of leading the market up. Guys, Microsoft, really right here. I mean, the pivot's 256.84, so we're over that. So Microsoft right here anywhere is a good area to get in. Should have room, like I said, probably 262, at least 260. So keep an eye on the Microsoft. Really like this one. Great relative strength. Top watch right now. MSFT. The XM is pulling in a little bit here. Guys, I still like crowd quite a bit too. Still like crowd. I know it's putting in a red bar right now. The market's going green, but this thing still looks pretty decent. This ESPR is going to be a little bit tough. It does have a good range. The average range ratio is good, so this thing can definitely do some bigger range days, but just be mindful of where it's at in the average trading range. I don't like a whole lot on the short side right now. I'm watching the Microsoft. SoFi's pulling in pretty good. AMD, same thing. All right. Yeah, my eyes are mainly on Microsoft right here, guys. Top watch is Microsoft. Over 257.50, I'm interested, honestly. What's up, Casey? How you doing, man? I saw you had a pretty good watch list this morning. Or I guess it was yesterday, but for this morning. Had some good ideas on there. Guys, I like this Microsoft quite a bit. Quite a bit. I needed to rest for a little bit. We're only 5 minutes into the day, so we're not going to be jumping into anything early, but keep an eye on this MSFT. Putting a little bottom right here. Maybe give it probably give it like a right at a dollar stop. And it's got great spread. It's Microsoft. Volume's incredible. So keep an eye on this thing, guys. Keep an eye on the Microsoft. Top watch. Crowd is not a huge fan of this crowd on the pullback, guys. It's just got that one pivot, and it really didn't even touch that pivot. So crowd needs a little bit of work. ESPR, yeah, nothing. You can watch the IAA. Again, it has a range concern, and it's at that 200. So it's not for me, but maybe you like it. I'm not watching it. SoFi pulling in still. As AMD doesn't look too bad. I want to keep an eye on AMD. I want to keep an eye on AMD. Microsoft is going right here, so not much to do with it. All right, I'm gonna replace BMRN with AMD, guys. go. We're watching AMD here. Watching the Microsoft. Yeah, Microsoft's looking good. Still got a lot of range left, guys. A lot of range on Microsoft, so I'm not really worried about it going any higher right now. AMD's right at some support. Think about bidding for this thing like 81.50 by 81. Where's this pivot at? Right at that support area. Markets are still kind of chopping around right here. I'm still kind of expecting to move lower, so I'm not really sold on any long ideas just yet. We don't have any news or anything that's going to really affect it, so you don't have to worry about that. But like I was saying earlier, guys, this is a big move up. I'm expecting at least some sort of pullback, maybe retest the 404 area before we go any higher. But honestly, that would be really, really great to see the market pull back and watch Microsoft just kind of hold and chop around, show some relative strength. Crowd's still pulling in a little bit. Now, if this thing comes down to like 126 and gives us that same sort of pattern, like I put a bottoming tail at 126, maybe bid for it at 127, give it like a $2 stop. That's a viable move. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on the crowd for a pullback. ESPR is going to be tough. IAA is going to be tough as well. This is probably the best looking short idea out there. The IAA, it's right at resistance or support, whatever. AMD though, AMD is the one I want to be interested in. Putting in these bottoming tails, I want to see how the market's going to do. I really want to see what this market's going to do. Like I said, I'd like to see it pull back a little bit more before we go higher, but looking like it might just end up going higher without any rest. Man, I want to find an entry on Microsoft. I need to find an entry on Microsoft. If this market continues to grind higher, Microsoft is going to be the spot to be. All right. Let's see here. All right. The markets are putting in a little bit of a wedge pattern right here, guys. Putting a little bit of a wedge on SPY. Looking like it wants to go a little bit higher potentially. It's over VWAP. So cautious on that. XN. Yeah, this thing looks like junk. You can watch SoFi still for a pullback as well. So I'm gonna put SoFi up here. XN this thing just kind of sloppy. Yeah, so I'm gonna watch SoFi. All right. So we got SoFi up there, pulling back at support. Keep an eye on this thing. Be like a 675 by. I'll give it like 660. Honestly, give it some room. Give it about 15 cents. So you're gonna need just over 7 for that. This thing should have $7 in it. All right. Guys, the Microsoft though, this is top watch. Again, this is a top watch. Man, I really want it to settle down right here. Just keeps on going higher. Settle down, Microsoft. This thing still has a lot of range left though. A lot of range, so still not worried about it. Let's see, this market looks like it's going up a little bit. This crowd is a little bit tempting. Timing tail there. My bid for like 129 by 1. I give it. That's a little bit of a range concern there. Really, yeah, 127 is the area though. You don't want to put it below that. All right. Still watching this SoFi as well. Look at that volume spike, guys. I'm about to bid for this 129 by 127 on crowd. 129 by 127. Target can be 131 or 133. My bad. Let's go through the list right here. The markets are looking higher. It doesn't really have relative strength. That's a little bit of a concern. It did gap up more than markets, but not a ton of relative strength. It did have a volume spike there. All right. That support. Avoid. All right, guys. Markets are kind of chopping around here. I'm not sure about these markets right now, guys. I'm going to hold off on this just because I'm really not sure about these markets. Yeah, I'm going to hold off right now. Markets are not doing really what you want to see when you're going long on a trade. Putting in some topping tails up here on volume. So yeah, just stay patient. I'd really like to see the market test itself. If we get some actual confirmed strength here, then I'll be more apt to go long. But right at the moment, I'm going to hold off. You're looking at H, Casey. Stop at entry 124. You just got into this thing, it looks like. Stop at 90. Ooh, that's a big stop. 97 all the way down here, yeah. I mean, you're protected pretty much. You might be able to tighten that up a little bit too, honestly. Maybe go like 104, even 108 maybe. But then you're looking at the target of 174. That's a big target too. You might be in this thing for a while, Casey. You might be in that for a while. I mean, that's like a core trade almost at that point. And again, I think you might be able to get a better price too. This thing might pull back and retest this 112 to 108 area. You might be able to maybe add and reduce there. Yeah, that's almost a core trade. All right. Spies still out high today, chopping around. Okay. There's crowd getting it going. Getting it up almost up half an hour if you took it. Microsoft, guys. I'm liking the Microsoft. Now we got an area 258 by, I'd probably give it $1, so 257, just under VWAP. Only done $2. Average day is almost 6, so this thing's only done about 30% of its average day. Guys, this is what I wanted to see on the market, honestly. This is exactly what I wanted to see. Big red bar. We'll see how these stocks hold up. If we're showing relative strength, then I'm a fan. If we're showing relative strength, and I'm a fan of some of these long ideas. It's SoFi, you'd be like 675 by probably 665. Maybe give it a little bit more room, 663. So keep an eye on that SoFi. Keep an eye on Microsoft still. I still like Microsoft quite a bit. The crowd is pulling in a little bit here. So probably nothing to do with this. At this point, I would probably only take crowd over high of the day. Still has quite a bit of range, so it's not a concern. These short ideas aren't doing much. AMD's another one I want to watch. I have it on my favorites list here. Over high of the day. XM doesn't look good. None of these ideas really look too hot. So, alright. Watching the crowd, watching SoFi, AMD, Microsoft is still my top watch. It's going to be 258 by 257. Watch it, guys. Alright. Crowd or AMD. AMD's another one I want to keep an eye on. This thing would be like a 50-cent stop, say. So, alright. SoFi's rolling over a little bit. Look at this volume spike on SoFi on this 1 minute, guys. If this thing puts in a bottoming tail and holds this area right here, I'm going to be tempted on this. Look at that. Look at that. SoFi 1 minute chart. Big volume spike right here. So watch that. I'd still probably do 675 by 663. I'd still bid for it. I mean, look at the Qs. Absolutely rolled over at the low of the day right here. SPY's holding up a little bit better. SPY's holding up a little better. But I want to watch this SoFi, guys. $675 by 663. SoFi and Microsoft, my two watches right now. All right. Man, that red bar is what we wanted. It's what we wanted, so we're getting it. Microsoft is still my top watch. This is my favorite idea, no doubt about it. 258 by 257. I'm thinking about getting an order in, honestly. I just don't like the 1 minute. I'm not putting an order in up here after this 1 minute looks like this. Honestly, I'm thinking about bidding for it. 257.50 by 256.50. Alright, guys. So that bar completed. SoFi's still going a little bit lower, it looks like. So be patient with that thing. Markets are looking a little bit lower as well, honestly. Putting in another red bar. We'll see how it holds up here. And the volume on SoFi is pretty good as well. So watch it. 675 by 663. That's what I'm looking at on the SoFi. Microsoft, I'm watching 258 by 257. AMD's pulling in pretty good here, so keep an eye on it maybe. Guys, this SoFi, I'm gonna get my order in. All right, we need just over $7. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna go just under $7. Bam. SoFi. All right, we are in the SoFi. SoFi 675 by 663. We are in SoFi at the 12-cent stop. So we need 687 for break even. and SoFi on the pullback. Markets look like they might have found a bottom right here, looking like they're going to try to retest the high today. SoFi, the volume spike right here, looking pretty good. All right. A little bit low on the volume, no lie. A little bit low on that volume on the 15-minute chart here. Would like to see a little bit more volume, but I really like where this is at on the 15-minute where it's bouncing off support. We got a lot of support right here, so our stop's in a really good spot. All right, I'm still watching this Microsoft as well, guys. Microsoft is really the top watch. Again, it'd be a dollar stop, which is well within range. Actually, just a little bit below. So I'm gonna get an order ready on Microsoft. I'm gonna get my order ready on Microsoft. Not in it just yet, but markets are engulfing that red bar. Coming up on high of the day. Microsoft's in this void. A lot of room left to run. It is at a bit of resistance. You can see where it stopped out is, or where it stopped going up is right in this 258 area, which is kind of this little pickup right here from a couple weeks ago. But man, over 258 should have easy room up to 260, 262. So keep an eye on it. I've got my order ready. Oops. Oh, I was like, wait, what's going on here? That makes sense. There we go. All right. I'm gonna put my order in on Microsoft, guys. Saying it has 30 seconds left on this bar. I'm gonna put my order in on the Microsoft. It's gonna be 257.97 by 256.97. Oops, Microsoft. All right, 256.97 or 257.97 by 256.97. Dollar stop loss. SoFi is off to a pretty decent start, looking good. Probably expecting some sort of pullback. You see it's up quite a few bars on this 1 minute chart, so a pullback wouldn't be a surprise here. Keep that thing going. A lot of range left on the SoFi, so should be looking good there. Microsoft still chopping around. Crowd's forming a bit of a wedge pattern here. Does look like a bearish wedge though. It started off going lower, so we'll see here. But bidding for it at 129 by 127, still on the table. Cards are still on the table. I'd really like if it put another bottoming tail like 128.50 or so. I'd really like it. All right. Yeah, SPY's chopping around. Looks like we're gonna move up here. It's trying at least. Putting in a few more tails right now, but all right. Yeah, it's been a pretty choppy morning, honestly. Just kind of, it's ground higher, putting red bar, now chopping back up. So not a real clear cut morning. See these topping tails up here too. So there's definitely some selling pressure up in this 405 to 406 area. All right. This ESPR ended up giving it up. IAA just kind of grinding higher. BMRN's chopping. So I'm going to do a little bit of scanning on my backup list here, guys. Alright, don't see much from the short side. You can watch this ARCS. We'll throw this on the list. Apple's just chopping around. Facebook's pulled in pretty good. Ford's not up there. Wow, Snapchat had a nice big day. Nothing really to do with it. I mean, this first bar was 65 cents, so just ripped right out the open. Big move on Apple or Snap. All right. You can watch this Oracle, which is a decent little buy setup. Pulling right back at support. So I'm going to throw this on my list. Throw that on there. AMAT is, honestly, you can watch it. Well, it's a little bit thin on volume. It's pretty thin on the volume, so be careful there. But I'll throw it on my list. It doesn't look too bad. Video's not looking great. Roku. Yeah, put Roku on my list. It's pulling in a little bit here, but you can see where it's at on this hourly chart, right at support, right at that 200 moving average. So I'll put Roku on my list. Rocks. Yeah, that's pretty thin on volume. Then DKS is the same exact thing, real thin. So got a couple extra ideas here. Got the got this ACRS short idea. Keep an eye on it potentially. Oracle. This is one, like I said, you can probably get this on a buy setup right at 89.80. Put a stop at like 89.15. It's not a bad idea. 66 cent stop. You need high of the day basically for 1 hour. Did put in a pretty big volume spike up there though. I want to keep an eye on that Oracle. Crowd is rolling over right here. AMAT's looking a little interesting, but like I said, it's kind of thin on volume. Got a wide spread. Give it like a 50 cent stop maybe. You can watch it. I'm actually going to watch that AMAT, guys. Put IAA on the backups there. Alright. So we're watching AMAT. Still got an order in on Microsoft. Still got my order in on Microsoft. I still do like this thing over high of the day. It's got to hold VWAP, but over high of the day looks good. SoFi's off to a pretty good start. We're up about 8 cents on a 12-cent stop. So up 2/3 of an hour. Not a bad start. Microsoft still looking good. This 1 minute look like on AMAT. Pretty choppy. Can't get over the VWAP. It can't get over VWAP. It's struggling pretty hard with that. All right. We're looking at BLDR, Boulder, whatever. One of the two. Yeah, Roku needs some work. All right, I'll check out this BLDR. Long over 90. Top loss of $7 down to 82. That's a pretty good stop. You got some moving averages. You got a couple pivots right there. You got this previous area of resistance, so it should be good on the stop. And your target's up at 104. I mean, this is breaking out to an all-time high, so that's good as well. 104, it's a little bit extended, but as always, I think we can get there. Like I said, it might run up here and retest this $86, $88 area before getting there, but it's strong stock, that's for sure. Strong stock, you got your stop in a pretty good area. You might be able to give it a little more room down to $80, but for the most part, it's a pretty good stop. Not bad on the Boulder. Definitely a strong stock. Was it Boulder? What is this? Oh, Builder. Builder's First Source. Okay. Builders. All right, guys. So SoFi still just chopping around up there. Looking pretty good, though, especially considering the market. Market's kind of chopping around. This thing just continues to move higher. So looking good on the SoFi. Microsoft is looking good as well. This VWAP is holding like a rock star right now. Don't want to see it go much lower than this, but still looking pretty good on the Microsoft. Crowd is bottoming again. Look at this volume spike now. A little bit tempted to bid for some crowd again. Keep an eye on that. Microsoft's looking good. Markets are looking higher. This AMAT's looking pretty solid too, guys. So considering AMAT 120.20 by 119.7 or 50, be a 70-cent stop. You need $1.40 out of this thing. So you're gonna need 121.60. That's well within range. Well within range on the AMAT. It is, like I said, it's a little bit thin on volume. Only 500,000 shares in the first 30. So be mindful of that. You might be able to bid for XM right here. Pulling back at support. Not for me though. Guys, watch this ACRS. ACRS short. ESPR is pretty much done. This ACRS though has a little bit of range left. Keep your eye on it. Under 685 by like a 730. So that would be about a 45-cent stop. So a little bit wide on the stop, but still not bad. Guys, the Oracle doesn't look too bad either. Been watching this thing be like 89.80 by 89.15. Oracle's one I'm about to bid for here. I don't know if I'm gonna get it now. I'm going right up here. I mean, those bottoming tools are looking pretty good though. Buyers are stepping up. This is a little bit extended on the hourly chart. Got some resistance as well. So actually, I'm gonna hold off on Oracle right now, guys. 89.80 should be 65-cent stop. We just need high of the day. All right. Keep an eye on it. Not getting in just yet. Especially considering that big wide range red bar right there. It was a pretty heavy sell off. And had a pretty decent sized volume spike up here too. So just stay patient with the Oracle. This thing still has decent range left, so you could get it over high today if you really wanted it. Guys, look at SoFi. SoFi's doing the deed. Oh yeah, we are 1 penny away from break even on SoFi. So I am going to raise this stop up a little bit. 670. I'll move it to break even once we tap the break even. There's ACRS. There's ACRS. Getting it going. Probably could have gave it 720. So been like 680 by 720. So 40-cent stop. So you need $6 on the dot. You're asking a little bit much out of it, but it's there. As Microsoft's getting to the point where it's putting in a wedge pattern, I'm thinking about bidding for it. 257.50 by 256.50. Putting in a wedge here. Honestly, I am going to do this, guys. I'm getting in. Okay, so SoFi is at break even. And I'm going to bid for. Oh, I was about to say, wait, what's going on there? I don't know if it's going to get me. I don't know if it's going to get me. I'm going to bid for it, though. 257.50 by 256.50 on Microsoft. So I'm bidding for it on the wedge pattern. If it doesn't do that, I'm going to just wait for my initial entry at 258. If it doesn't get me, I'm just going to wait for the initial entry. But SoFi is at break even. SoFi to break even. Microsoft's looking like it's going to be triggering me in soon. Yeah, I don't think this limit order is going to get filled, guys. I'm going to leave it in just for a moment. But and honestly, I don't even know if I want to see it get filled now. The market's putting a big old green bar, so I want to see the relative strength continue with Microsoft here. All right. So staying patient with the Microsoft. We need to rush into this. And then on SoFi, we need 699 for 2R. Yeah, so Microsoft, I'm going to cancel the limit order there. Should be getting filled on this stop limit order any second now. And we will be in it after that. All right, bam, got filled. We only got a penny of slippage, so that is good stuff. All right. Oops, there we go. Got the alert in there for 1R on Microsoft. Yeah, man, I really could have bid for this thing. Got in 50 cents early. That would not have been a bad move at all. You see the support, bottoming tails, engulfing bars right at that VWAP. Means buyers are stepping up. Crowd's pretty weak now. AMD's pretty weak. AMAT doesn't. Well, AMAT doesn't look good, guys. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good on AMAT. The XN, man. Guys, so not doing much. Oracle's off to a good start as well. Oracle's off to a good start. If you got in there, it would have been at 65-cent stop, and it's up 30 cents, so just under half an hour. Microsoft put in a little bit of a tail. SoFi is looking good still. All right, so just the two open trades right now: Microsoft, SoFi. My next top watch is probably this AMAT. Yeah, I don't love it, but it's looking like the best thing out right here if you want to continue to go long. And that ACRS is doing good. It's off to a good start. Would have been about a 40-cent stop, and it's down 33 cents. So almost 1R on the ACRS. What is this thing? Health Tech. XM's a little bit interesting, but it's really hasn't even touched support yet, so holding off there. Let's scan my list again, see if any of these ideas have gotten any better at all. Not looking like it on the short side. Not looking like it on the long side either. And that snap was an absolute beast today. Impressive. Yeah, I don't see much else, guys. on the long side. Rock, you can keep an eye on it, but man, this thing's thin. It's thin. It's only done 130,000 shares, and we're 45 minutes into the day, so that's not for me. That was not for me. 15-cent spread. Yeah, that's a little tough. DKS, another one, really thin, man. 240,000, 15-cent spread. All right. So not really liking a whole lot here. AMAT's getting it going. So if you would have taken this thing, you probably would have gotten 120.20, about a 70-cent stop. So you're only up 20 cents. If it didn't have that big topping tail, if it didn't have this big topping tail to start the day, then I would have been like hot to try. I probably would have gotten in at 120, honestly. 120 by 119.50. Gave it a 50-cent stop. But that topping tail kept me out of it. I did not like that. And why did it, like, look at this. Ran up and just sold all the way off. So, I don't know. I don't know about it. It's looking good so far, though. So is the SoFi. SoFi is hanging out at 690. Needed to get up to $7. All right, Microsoft's getting up there, guys. Up over high of the day on Microsoft. Man, I'm a little upset. I really should have been in this thing at 257.50. The way it was chopping around, putting in this wedge right here, that's pretty nice. Especially adding that VWAP, and you add in the stop is like down here under this bottoming tail, like that was pretty nice. Other than that, other than getting into Microsoft early, I feel like I've traded pretty well today, honestly. I feel like I've done a pretty fair job. I'm not mad about this at all. Man, that ACRS really gave it up, didn't it? Wow, impressive stuff. 40-cent stop, you're down 69 cents. So yeah, you need $6. It's almost there. Nothing to do with this thing. IQ, so yeah, maybe not. CN was absolutely nothing to do with. IAA, not much. ESPR, same thing. Pretty tough to trade on the 5. Not really tradable at all. So yeah, I've done a pretty good job. I could have been more aggressive on Oracle. Oracle was not bad. What I didn't like about it was this big move up. It really hasn't had any rest at all. But came back down, put in 3 bottoming tails. You could have gotten 89.80. Probably could have given it a 40-cent stop. I would have given it a 65-cent stop. If you want to be aggressive, you give it a 30 to 40-cent stop. Right now it's up 40, almost 50 cents. So it's done a decent job so far. The SPY and the Qs continue to move up a little bit higher. All right. So not a bad day so far, guys. We're up over 1R on the SoFi. We're at high of the day on Microsoft. So worst case scenario is I lose an R from Microsoft and I get tagged and break even on SoFi. So worst case scenario, negative 1R. Best case scenario, plus 4R. That's a spot I'll take every day of the week. That's a spot I will take every day of the week. Alright. I don't want to say I don't see myself taking any more trades, but I think it's going to be tough for me to find a trade that I'm really impressed by. AMD over high of the day with a pattern, maybe. Honestly, I'd like to see it over high of the pre-market, though. So like 82.40. I may consider AMAT on a buy setup. It would have to come up here and break. It'd have to hit like 121.50, come back, get in like 120.75 with a stop down here at like 119.75. It's still within range. There's still range on this. But then again, you got to add the volume factor in there. There's not a lot of volume, so I don't know. We'll watch it. That's like probably one of the better things I see right now. AMAT buy setup. There's Microsoft. Would have been at break even if we got that limit order. Would have been at break even. We'll see. And another better thing about this being at getting in on that wedge with the limit order, if I was at break even here, I would have been going to break even. And there's more protection here. Like this thing, it's got to come back. It's got to really break this resistance to get me tagged out. But now, once it hits 259, and I put my stop right here, there's not a whole lot of protection. Before it could really, really easily just tag me out and then continue to work. But with that I got it at 50 cents earlier, would have had a little bit more protection on the tag out. So, gotta be mindful of those things. Spine cues keep ripping up. I'm getting a little bit concerned, honestly, here. Now look at this on the hourly chart. Now we really are extended. So I need Microsoft to give me one more big pop so I can get the break even on this thing. So far, I just needs a little bit more out of it. Need 8 more cents. So we win just an R and a third at the moment right now. An R and a third. All right. You guys trade anything? Okay, so I still need to. They still need to make the update where I can see like a list of concurrent viewers. Because again, I'd like to know what you guys are doing, what you guys are watching. If you're watching me, if you're watching any other stocks. So it would be really nice if Trading View did that, but we'll see if they ever do. You guys trade anything right now? You got any open trades? You got any opinions about the market? So honestly, if I'm going anywhere right now in the market, I'm thinking we're pulling back, guys. We are up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's a green bar. That is a green bar. That doji one right there is a green bar. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is the 11th bar up. The 11th green bar in a row. Now we're getting into a little bit of resistance as well. 408 is a definite area of resistance. It really starts at 407.50, 407. So we're getting into some junk. Could see a pullback on the SPY and the Qs. Would not be a surprise at all. Honestly, a healthy pullback right now would be kind of nice. Pull back, maybe retest the 406, and then continue to go higher. Microsoft is saying if it hits 259 and then pulls back, I'm definitely getting tagged out. If it kind of puts a little pullback right here, retests the 256, 257 area, and then goes, or 258 area, my bad. Then it would have more room to go, and then I have a little more protection from the tag out. Man, look at AMD just rip. Dang, look at that thing, just off the bottom, all the way back up. Honestly, you can still watch this for a trade. It's only done about half its range. It's doing great volume. It's AMD, so yeah, definitely watch AMD for a buy setup. This thing comes back into the 82 to 82.20 area. You might consider bidding for it. AMAT's doing a good job as well. Nice, nice. ACRS hit target. Damn. Beast mode. Beast mode. Oracle's pulling in a little bit. Roku's still kind of moving up. Like I said, keep an eye on this AMD, guys. Keep an eye on AMD. Yeah, SoFi is honestly looking pretty good. This thing just needs to break out, pop up to $7, and we are good to go. Oh man! So I'll probably be on for another 10 minutes or so, guys. Be on for another 10 minutes or so on the mic. If you guys have any questions or comments, make sure you get them out there. So AMD, guys. This is a top watch. Only thing I'm really watching at all, honestly. Again, like I said, you can watch AMAT, but man, that topping tail is you can't just ignore that topping tail. You cannot ignore it. It's there, it happened. You can see on the 1 minute, it ran up and it sold completely off. So you gotta man, AMD is looking good. I don't know if I would have taken it on the double bottom right here. So kind of bottom, putting another double bottom there. So putting in a bit of a volume spike on this bar as well. So you probably could have bid for it. Probably it's not a bad idea actually on the AMD. If you would have got in like 81.60, stop at 81, maybe 81.80. Would have been a 80-cent stop. You would have been up over $1. You would have been up past break even. Like I said, I'm still watching this though, guys. This thing gives us a pullback right at this 82.20 area. I'm gonna be interested. Has over half its range left. It's doing good volume. It doesn't exactly have great relative strength. It's kind of weaker than the market earlier, but since then it's been stronger than the market. It's been really pushing it. Once this market broke out over this 405, 406 area, AMD is really ripped. Oops. All right. So, yeah, just still in the two trades, just SoFi. SoFi went up a little bit more. So now we only need a nickel. So we went up at over an hour and a half at this point. An hour and a half up on SoFi. Microsoft's almost up to an hour. Needs a little bit more. Casey, looking at IR. All right. Long entry at 60. I'm getting in right here. All-time high, I suppose. Oh, not quite. You got a little bit of a pivot right here at 62. So it's entry at 60. Stop loss. Oh, you got a tight stop on this one. This is a tight stop. Usually you have wider stops than this, so you only have a 58.20. So yeah, that's a tight stop. I would expect you to give it a little more room, maybe 54, 55 maybe. Target up to 62, right at this pivot. All right. Is this more of a day trade for you then? As opposed, I know a lot of what you do is swing trade, almost core trading. This one seems like a little bit of a tighter stop. A little bit tighter. I guess it's still a swing trade. I was looking at it on a weekly chart. So 60, stop at 58.20. It's still a pretty tight stop. Still pretty tight. I would expect you to give it at least like 56 or so. But I guess you're trying to get the full 2R before it hits that double top at 62, huh? So that makes sense. Yeah, not a bad trade. That's strong, that's for sure. All right. Microsoft's looking like it might be putting in a little bit of a buy setup here. SoFi is hanging out. AMD is hanging out up there. I still like this thing on a buy setup, guys. I do. Right at that $82 area is a 50% retracement. AMAT. AMAT all the way up to high of the day. And 120 by 119.50, there's 2R. It's there. That bottoming tail sold me though. Alright. So I'm probably going to call it a day here for the stream, guys. It's almost 10:30, so been on here for just over an hour. I appreciate you guys tuning in today. Solid stream, did some solid trading. A lot better than what we did last Friday. And last Friday was not the best day. Let's just leave it at that. Could have done better. But off to a pretty decent start to the week, guys. Like I said, worst case scenario is Microsoft stops me out and SoFi tags me out. So in that case, I'd lose 1R. Best case scenario, both these trades hit target, and I'm up 4R. So not a bad spot to be in. Down 1R, worst case, or up 4R is best case. So I like being in that spot. I'm gonna call it a day while I'm there. Like I said, I might be looking to get a trade on AMAT or AMD. Probably not AMAT. Probably AMD if I do anything. If I get anything, it's probably going to be AMAT or AMD. Sorry, AMD. So you can watch AMD for a buy setup. Otherwise, I don't see anything I like, guys. Otherwise, I don't see anything I like. Oracle, maybe. Yeah, Oracle actually doesn't look too bad. You can watch Oracle as well. So Oracle and AMD, if you want to get a trade, is still. I'm in SoFi Microsoft. I'll be watching these two, but otherwise, I don't see anything. So with that, have a great day, guys. I will be back on the mic tomorrow morning, 9:25 Eastern time. We're switching up a little bit. We're going to go a little bit earlier so we can get that pre-market bias in before the market opens. So it's going to be 9:25 Eastern time until about 10:25 Eastern time. So until then, until tomorrow morning, take care, guys. Best of luck to you. Stay safe, stay patient. Always practice proper money management. Have a great day.